Welcome back to Danisum. I am Dan, and as always, I am here with my co host, the one and only John.
Hey everyone, great to be back in the studio with you, Dan. I've got a feeling this episode is going to be quite a lively one. I'm already bracing myself.
Oh, you're not wrong, John. You are not wrong. Today, folks, we are diving headfirst into a topic that honestly has been causing me a fair bit of personal grief lately. We're talking homeowners associations, HOAs.
The dreaded or beloved, depending on who you ask, HOA. I can already tell by your facial expression that you've had a few run ins recently, haven't you?
Run ins? John, that's an understatement. Let's just say my mailbox is getting more love letters from the HOA than from my actual family, and not the good kind of love letters either. So, yeah, we're going to get into that.
Well, I, for one, am ready to hear all about it. And I'm also ready to defend the other side, because believe it or not, I think HOAs actually have a lot of merit. So, prepare yourselves for a spirited debate.
Spirited indeed. You might even call it a showdown. Let's dive in. All right. So, where do I even begin with this saga? I've got my Sprinter van, right? The one I use for, my triathlons, hauling stuff, sometimes going out for an adventure with Lisa. It's a big van. It's it's a commercial looking vehicle, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I know the van. It's pretty distinctive. Can't miss it.
Exactly. And it's parked in my driveway, like on my property, my actual driveway, not on the street, not blocking anything, just sitting there innocently, minding its own business.
Okay, and the problem is?
The problem, John, is that my HOA, bless their rule, loving Empire Hearts, has decided that my van is an unapproved vehicle for my driveway. I could really buy an inappropriate vehicle with different colored fenders, rust all over the place, and just leave it there so the Scottsdale snobs have to look at it all the time. But I would rather buy a new bike instead.
Wait, what? An unapproved vehicle? What does that even mean? Is it like a certain size or something?
Apparently. So I start getting these letters, right? First one's a warning. Dear homeowner, your vehicle, a van, is in violation of Covenant Section BS. Crap written in 1992, by the way, prohibiting commercial vehicles or vehicles over a certain length/height from being parked in plain sight in driveways. Blah, blah, blah.
Huh. So they have a rule about vehicle types?
They have a rule about everything, but this one, I don't know. It feels so petty. It's not like I'm running a repair shop out of my front yard. It's a van, my van in my driveway. It has a name for crying out loud.
What's that, Dan?
Bike Box One, John, that's its name.
Have you tried talking to them, like appealing it?
Oh, we are, John, we are, believe me. It's a white van. It's not like it's neon green with flames on the side. It's just so frustrating because it feels like they're just looking for things to find people for. Like it's an attack almost on my personal property, on my ability to just, you know, live my life without constantly worrying if my vehicle is offending someone's pristine view. I mean, come on, it's just a van.
Like appealing it? Okay. Okay, Dan, I hear your frustration. I really do. And I mean, I get it. Nobody likes getting fined, especially for something that feels like, it's yours and it's on your property. But you got to you got to see the other side of this, right?
Oh, here we go. The John Order and consistency defense.
Well, yeah. Look, I actually think HOAs are pretty great, honestly. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear right now, but hear me out. They exist for a reason.
To make my life miserable, apparently. They have been doing it almost my whole life, John. I was born here, you came from Cali, where your neighbors talk to each other if they do not like something you are doing, or the city gets involved.
No, no, not at all. They're there to maintain order in the neighborhood without neighbors escalating things between them. Think about it. Without an HOA, what happens? People just start doing whatever they want. You could have like a beat up RV parked on blocks in someone's front yard for months, or someone could paint their house bright purple.
So my white van is the equivalent of a purple house.
No, not necessarily the equivalent, but it's part of a larger picture. It's about maintaining a consistent aesthetic, you know? And that consistent aesthetic, it actually helps property values. It really does. When someone drives through a neighborhood and everything looks well maintained and there aren't, uh, you know, giant commercial vehicles blocking views or anything that looks out of place, it just feels nicer. It looks better. And that's appealing to potential buyers. So, while it feels strict when it's your van, the rules, they ultimately benefit every single homeowner in that community, including you, by protecting your investment.
But at what cost, John? My freedom to park my own van.
Well, that's where the balance comes in, right? You signed up for it. You knew there were rules when you moved in. And those rules, they're not just arbitrary. They're usually in place to prevent things that could potentially annoy neighbors or, drag down the overall look and feel. So, for every rule that seems a little bit overbearing to you, there's probably someone else in the neighborhood who's really glad it exists. It's for the greater good in a way.
Greater good, John? Greater good? Oh, please. This isn't the greater good. This is honestly like living under, I don't know, some kind of oppressive regime. Seriously, especially when you are being singled out.
Whoa, whoa, Dan, hold on a sec. Oppressive?
Yeah, oppressive. It feels like I bought a house and I own the land, right? But I don't actually own it. I'm just renting it from the HOA. It's like they dictate everything. They're like, oh, you can't have this. You can't park that. It's not a community, John. It's a surveillance state. I mean, it's starting to feel like I'm living under like Hitler's rule or something, or honestly, the empire from Star Wars, just this massive faceless entity that just takes away all your personal freedom, just constantly monitoring, constantly finding, constantly telling you what you can and can't do on your own property.
Dan, that's a bit extreme. Don't you think? Hitler's rule? Come on.
Is it though? Is it really that extreme when they're hitting me with hundreds of dollars in fines for parking my vehicle that I need for my work in my own driveway? What's next, John? Are they going to tell me what color socks I can wear? Are they going to come inside my house and tell me how to arrange my furniture? It's like the sense of autonomy is completely gone. I can't express myself. I can't even run my business properly because they're constantly breathing down my neck about a van that's literally just sitting there and not bothering anybody. It's just parked. They talk about property values, but what about the value of my peace of mind, the value of my personal liberty? It's like every single time I see one of those little golf carts, the HOA patrol driving by, I feel like I'm a criminal. And for what? For a van. It's infuriating.
Okay, okay. Dan, I hear you, and I get that it's frustrating. But comparing it to Hitler or the Empire, that's that's a bit much, don't you think? I mean, we're talking about a homeowners association, not, a totalitarian regime. Look, I understand the feeling of like personal freedom and all that, but there's a practical side to this, right? It's not just about them being overly controlling. These rules, they're often there for a reason. Think about it, preventing blight. If people could just do whatever they wanted, you'd have, you know, dilapidated cars on lawns, strange structures, maybe even abandoned appliances just sitting out there. And that really does affect the overall look and feel of the neighborhood. And not just the look, but safety too. Like, if someone's parking a huge commercial vehicle on a blind corner, or if there's like constant construction mess, it can actually become a safety hazard for kids playing or people driving through. And for the collective investment, man, like your house, my house, everyone's house in an HOA community, it's an investment. And the rules, as annoying as they can be, they're designed to protect that investment, to keep property values up. If a neighborhood looks run down or chaotic, those values are going to plummet for everyone. So, while your van situation is definitely a pain, and I feel for you on that, it's not about them being evil overlords. It's about, a collective agreement to maintain a certain standard. There has to be a balance, right? Between individual freedom and like community standards that benefit everyone. It's not one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, John. I really do. And I get the whole property value thing. Like, nobody wants to live next to a junkyard, right? But at what point does that like collective benefit just completely override any sense of personal autonomy? The people running this one are just dicks, John. You live here, they don't mess with you. That van was 90 grand, John. It's a 2023 Mercedes. It's not a Ford, and there are other vehicles in the neighborhood that don't meet the rules either, and they are still parked in their driveways. I mean, it's my driveway. I own the land, and I feel like I'm constantly having to justify every single thing I do on it, and it just feels like this constant surveillance. Like someone's always watching, always ready to slap you with a fine for something that to me is just utterly ridiculous. It's a vehicle. It's not like I'm building a rocket ship out there.
No, I totally get that feeling, Dan, truly. And, I think that's where the tension always is with HOAs, right? Like, where do you draw that line? because one person's ridiculous is another person's maintaining standards. I think for me, it just comes down to the initial agreement. Like when you buy into an HOA, you know what you're getting into, or at least you're supposed to, and it's a trade-off. You give up some of that absolute personal freedom for ideally a more consistent, well-maintained community.
Haha, John well maintained my ass. Have you seen the crap by the exit gate? That pisses me off. It feels like the goalposts just keep moving sometimes, or the interpretations are just so wild. Like this van situation, it's maddening. It feels like I'm constantly fighting an uphill battle against something that just shouldn't even be an issue.
It sounds like you, the HOA, are definitely not seeing eye to eye on the definition of issue. That's for sure. And I don't know, man. I just think there are worse things than having rules that prevent people from, like, painting their house neon pink or having, 20 cars parked on their lawn.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I'm not advocating for anarchy here, but there's got to be a middle ground between anarchy and like the galactic empire.
Well, I guess this is one of those topics where we probably won't fully agree, Dan. You're going to keep seeing it as a restriction on your liberty, and I'm going to keep seeing it as a necessary evil for maintaining some semblance of order and property value.
Yeah, I think that's fair, John. I think we're probably going to have to agree to disagree on the fundamental nature of HOAs, but it definitely gives our listeners something to think about, right? Like, where do they draw the line?
Absolutely. It's a tricky balance, individual rights versus community standards. And, everyone's experience is different. I'm sure there are people out there with vans who are having zero issues. And then there's you, Dan.
Yeah, there's me and my mounting fines. And with that, I think we are just about out of time for today's episode of Danism. John, thank you for trying to see the bright side of HOAs, even though I'm still feeling a little oppressed.
Well, Dan, I tried to give you the objective view. Thanks to all our listeners for tuning into what was, I think, a pretty spirited debate, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely spirited. And we really, really want to hear from you. Like, what are your HOA experiences? Are you Team Dan, feeling like you're living under a tiny neighborhood dictatorship? Or are you Team John, thinking they're just, a necessary part of keeping things orderly?
Yeah, let us know on social media or send us an email. We love hearing your thoughts, especially on topics as, shall we say, passionate as this one.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll be back on Monday with another engaging discussion right here on Danism. So for now, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time when we will record a message in an R2 unit and try to get Obi-Wan Ken Obi to help me with the Empire.
That's funny. Take care, everyone. This show is created and produced by Dan. I just sit here and talk.